Hello Year 8, and this is a video to help you with your home learning this week, which we set for you on Martin Luther. This video is basically just to cover some confusion that so many people get, and I completely understand why. So a lot of people get Martin Luther confused with Martin Luther King Jr. Obviously they have the same name and they have a few similarities as well. So they were both Christian. And they both wanted change and reform, and they both protested for having change and reform. However, there are big differences. So Martin Luther was active in the 1500s, whereas Martin Luther King Jr. was active in the 1960s. So that's when he started his mission for reform. So we're going to have a look at the differences. So Martin Luther was a Christian, yes, and he was living at a time in the 1500s where the Catholic Church was one of the most wealthiest organisations, and they had a lot of power. And Martin Luther disagreed with some of the things the Catholics were doing. So he wanted to start a reform. So he disagreed, and he actually had 95 problems with the Catholic Church. And he started to protest against these. And he even got a sign with all these issues on and put it onto the door of one of the churches in Germany. And this led to the Protestant church being created. Protestant? Because of the protest that happened, and it's got the word protest in it. It still was a Christian denomination, but it was different to the Catholic Church as of the 95 problems that they had. Another thing that Martin Luther King did, Martin Luther did that led to the confusion, was that he translated the Bible. And he translated it from Latin, which it was only available in Latin at that time, into German. This meant that a lot more people could understand the Bible, as not many people in Germany spoke Latin. But it also meant that a lot more people could then translate it, because a few people knew German and other languages, so could translate it, for example, into English. When he translated the Bible, he also did something else which was completely against the Catholic Church, and he left out 7 books. So he made the Bible only have 66 books in the Bible. He did this because he said that those books were not inspired by God and were not a form of revelation. But he did say they were a really good read, and he included it in the Apocrypha, which means hidden, but it wasn't in the exclusive, in the actual Bible. So now let's have a look at Martin Luther King Jr. So Martin Luther King Jr. is in the 1960s, unlike Martin Luther in the 1500s. So he was a Christian also, who wanted change and reform and protested for it. But he was a black man living in America and wanted equality. So he wanted equality. So he was a part of the civil rights movement. Part of the civil rights movement, which he wanted equality for black people in America. He famously did this by protesting, and how he protested was with non-violence. He never actually sought violence. Even though violence was inflicted on him, he never fought back, and that's what makes him very inspirational. But when he did this, one of the things he did was he did speeches in front of people, and one of them was the I Have a Dream, which was a beautiful speech that he performed in Washington, D.C. about having equality for all races in America. So another kind of difference here is that Martin Luther was excommunicated for his beliefs. So he was called in front of the Catholic Church, and they asked him to kind of deny what he said or reject the things that he said, and he was very defiant. He wouldn't do it, and that led to him being excommunicated, and he was called a heretic. However, he didn't really care because he started his own church. Martin Luther King Jr., he wasn't excommunicated, he was actually assassinated. He was assassinated because of his belief and standing up for his belief. So yeah, we've got some very big differences here, but obviously a lot of similarities. And I hope this has cleared up some misunderstanding. We are so impressed with the work that you have been doing, so please keep it up. Thank you.